Hello, I'm Dan Robinson with FPTV here on Finding Friends, and I'm glad to welcome again Sally Baker Williams from the Humane Society of the Ozarks. Welcome, Sally.
Thank you, Dan.
So glad to have you here again. We've had such great success so far with Finding Friends.
We have.
And,
It's amazing.
And now we have some new friends to meet. Tell us about who we have here.
We have Mia and Draco with us today, and Mia and Draco are kind of a special situation. They came to us about a month ago, and as you can tell, Mia is very thin and has some hair loss. They were very, very ill when we got them. They were from a pretty sad neglect situation in a neighboring community, and unfortunately, people were just kind of ignoring it and thinking, oh, it'll get better, or somebody will come and do something about it. And that wasn't happening. So by the time that something did get done and they were notified at the animal control in Springdale, these dogs were so sick that they required funding that a city-funded shelter just cannot provide.
And that's where HSO steps in.
And that's where HSO stepped in. Actually, this was a joint project between HSO and the Animal League of Washington County and Dr. Beth Stropes of Keeley's Fund. There were 3 dogs. Dr. Stropes and Keeley's Fund took one of them, and the Humane Society of the Ozarks took Mia and Draco. And jointly with Washington County Animal Shelter, we did online crowdfunding to raise funds to help with their medical bills because they had to be isolated and receive some pretty expensive medications for a while. And as you can see, Mia's still pretty skinny because she's been using most of her calories to heal up, but they are well on the road to being well now. They're no longer having to take medications. They're just getting weekly medicated baths, and they're ready to find their forever home. They are very, very bonded to each other. So my ideal setting would be to find a home for both of them to be able to stay together. Because Draco just, bless his heart, he just cries if he's in a kennel by himself and Mia's not in there with him. He just wants her in there with him. They've both been spayed and neutered. They've been vaccinated. They don't have, the miracle was they didn't have heartworms.
Right.
Along with everything else, at least they didn't have heartworms. So they're going to continue healing. They're going to continue putting on weight. They'll just need continued diets of a good, high calorie, high quality food. And they're ready to be somebody's best friends. As you can see, they're just sweethearts. They love
really
everybody. They just want to know what's going on.
And I guess the lesson here is that if you are witnessing some sort of neglect, that you should contact, and you were mentioning contacting more than once.
Yeah, because sometimes in these situations, unfortunately, the laws aren't always real clear-cut and they don't make it real easy. So sometimes all animal control can do initially is go and say, hey, look, we've had some calls. We can see that your animals need some attention from a veterinarian. You need to get that done. But if it's not egregious abuse, they can't just say, you got to give me those dogs.
Right.
So that's why it may take repeated calls. It may take several people so that then animal control can say, look, we have all these dates that we've responded to calls about these dogs. You still haven't done anything about them. The dogs are suffering. They need to go to an organization that can do right by them.
Nice.
And that makes it a lot easier. So that's why I say, even if you've called once, call again, because we can't do anything without documentation.
Yep, for sure. So if you are interested in Mia or Draco or in supporting the Humane Society of the Ozarks, you can contact the number that's at the bottom of the screen, and you can stay tuned to Finding Friends here on FPTV. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Dan.